There's no vindication for me because for 4 years I've been screaming not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters.
Okay, everyone, fasten your seatbelts, because the news from the world of celebrity drama has just become much more dramatic and explosive. This is one of the most well-known hip-hop artists, and he is renowned for his extravagant lifestyle. And his influence on the music business abruptly finds himself why. Yes, we are discussing Shan Diddy Coles, the mogul who founded Bad Boy Records, gave us some of the greatest hits of the 1990s and early 2000s, and led a life that most people thought was unachievable. Now, he is at the center of an investigation that is so shocking, unnerving, and scandalous that even his most devoted fans will be shocked. Since Sean is the one who pulled the trigger, Sean had to accept personal responsibility for his actions. Diddy's former bodyguard is the twist, and trust us, here's where it gets very interesting. He is the one who shot, so he must accept responsibility for that. The FBI may target Jay-Z next, according to Gan Deal, who is privy to all the behind-the-scenes information. Deal claims that this isn't just about Diddy. The net is expanding, and Jay-Z, another titan of the industry, could soon fall under its sway. The idea alone is enough to make anyone stop and think twice. After they are done with Diddy, fame, influence, and an almost untouchable legacy may face an unexpected demise. Let's go right in, as Jay-Z will be the next to be revealed. How did Diddy end up in this position in the first place? And what kind of investigation could bring someone with his reputation and power to ruin? The charges Diddy is facing are extremely serious. He is accused of running a sophisticated network that goes far beyond normal malpractice. Imagine the power dynamics at work here, as Diddy allegedly orchestrated complex events that had his inner circle imprisoned under his influence and kept quiet through a code of silence. This alleged decades-long plot involved manipulation, exploitation, and a web of control that Diddy allegedly used to keep people close to him and quiet. This is the plot of a crime drama, yet it's all happening in real life in this instance. And this is the point at which Jay-Z's name becomes relevant. In addition to being co-workers in the industry, Jay-Z and Diddy were close friends thanks to business social gatherings and a history of high-profile collaborations. They first collaborated in the 1990s, with Diddy turning Bad Boy into a powerhouse and Jay-Z establishing his empire through Rockefeller Records and later Roc Nation. Celebrated milestones and moved to the industry side by side. According to Gan Deal, their relationship is deep, and when someone in that position falls, it can shake everyone around them. If Deal's claims are to be believed, the FBI is very interested in seeing where this connection might lead. If it's part of the indictment, it's something like blackmail. He was blackmailing people to be in the freak. However, if we look at the public side of things, we can see that this isn't a wild accusation out of the blue. Day and Jay-Z's history of partnership is well documented, and their high-profile friendship has seen them both appear at some of the most important events in the world. Offs, so that could be a federal charge. He can't blackmail people to say, hey, listen here, you did it once, and you're gonna do it again. According to some, they were meticulously planned events, with Diddy operating behind the scenes. However, there are rumors that these events featured areas that were only known to a small number of people, where things took an unexpected turn, and where some attendees may have ended up in awkward situations. These gatherings had long been the subject of rumors about secret cameras and restricted admittance. Ain't gonna make it with the governor or nobody. Exclusive gatherings and parties, such as Diddy's renowned white parties and other extravagant gatherings that were known to go far beyond the typical Hollywood event, were places where only the most elite were permitted, and where secrecy was allegedly paramount. As we'll examine, these events had a darker edge, a layer of exclusivity that created an almost cult-like environment where guests were reportedly drawn into today's world with promises of fame, luxury, and indulgence. And who often stood at his side? Jay-Z, I don't think they're afraid of him. Rather, I think they don't want him to ruin their reputation and the things they've been known for. You see, white parties have been the stuff of legends for years. They feature expansive mansions decorated in the finest style, with every celebrity you can think of wearing white, dancing, and having a time that most people couldn't even imagine. As stated, suggesting a setting where privacy was anything but certain. It's getting heated. Yes, there is definitely more to this narrative. The FBI is looking at the big picture here. It's not just about individual crimes or incidents, but about a larger network. And if Diddy was at the center of a secretive web, then anyone closely associated with him could potentially be implicated or at the very least be brought in for questioning. A federal investigation into Combs has been ongoing, but he has not been charged. However, how does this all relate to Jay-Z? Deal's remarks have suggested that the FBI's investigation may be taking action. Given how closely Diddy's career and reputation are linked to Jay-Z, a closer examination of everyone involved in Diddy's inner circle, particularly those with whom he worked regularly and on high-stakes projects, could raise the possibility that he was not only viewed as a bystander, but also as a part of the environment that made certain actions possible. Being a 24-hour lockdown facility, the unique housing unit ensures that all prisoner movements are regulated and coordinated. Steps outside of his cell without wearing all of the shackles, such as leg irons, handcuffs, and a belly chain, and at least 2 or 3 staff members are there to help them comprehend the seriousness of the situation. Considering Diddy's corporate empire, let's examine how it may have been a cover for other endeavors. From his MTV program Making the Band to his popular Rock Spirits line, D created an empire by extending his lifestyle brand beyond music production to include fashion, television, and nightlife. That was about revenue as much as it was about influence. But this empire frere. Some insiders claim that it wasn't just about a business deal, while others have suggested that it might have been a purposeful attempt to manipulate those under his control. Perhaps there is a way to use his money to help us create a solution where he could construct a separate jail cell, and we could keep him there. It's kind of intriguing to me that they said, no, you're going to be treated not like everybody else, but a bird a pershib. Much like everyone else, I wouldn't want to be one of those judges, since, well, having money doesn't make it. Consider the scenario where new talent is lured into Diddy's world, hoping for the big break, surrounded by luxury, but gradually finding themselves in a predicament from which they are unable to escape. According to D's remarks, he utilized his position of authority to influence others by tying them up in allegiance secrecy and sometimes intimidation. Intertwined, both men had a vision that went beyond simply creating music. They wanted to create something enduring by shaping culture. It worked, and they became popular musicians and icons. However, as we've seen time and time again, the higher you go, the lower you can fall. Stacy, you say that today's indictment reads like a mob indictment. Of all these accusations, what shocked you the most was that Jake. And as we learn more about these claims, it becomes clearer why the FBI might view Diddy differently than others in his circle. Because I had a front row seat to watch him go from being independent to becoming a puff daddy. So why would Jay-Z, one of the most successful musicians and businessmen in the world, risk his reputation by hanging around Diddy? The government presented evidence in this indictment that Sean Combs was operating an illegal business. The FBI is piecing together a puzzle that may uncover a pattern of behavior that dates back years, if not decades, and according to Deal, they are especially interested in Diddy's closest allies who were present at his events during his rise, and may have seen things about Jay-Z that the public has never known. Because one of those allies may be dealing with issues that go far beyond simple friendship. And whether the FBI has actually collected proof that puts him in the midst of Diddy's alleged activities, he may be facing much more serious repercussions than anybody could have predicted. It's hilarious what's happening with Diddy because this was unavoidable. The potential damage cannot be overstated. Beyond just being a rapper, Jay-Z is a cultural influencer and businessman whose impact reaches into sports, fashion, and charity. His long-standing relationships with people like Diddy have contributed to the development of his brand, an image of joint success and power. But as this investigation progresses, there's a chance that the same connection could become a liability, possibly ruining a legacy that Jay-Z has spent decades creating. If you're following along, he was just arrested and placed in federal custody in New York tonight, according to sources who spoke to TMZ. Diddy was detained after Homeland Security stormed into a town hotel late Monday where he was staying. As Deal has noted, the FBI isn't looking into this case these days. As the pressure builds, there's a growing sense that Jay-Z's time in the spotlight may soon shift from admiration to scrutiny. If you thought the investigation surrounding Diddy's arrest couldn't get any more intense, buckle up. They conducted searches, gathered evidence, and reportedly interviewed numerous witnesses for those in their orbit. The implication is clear. This isn't just a passing scandal. It's a full-scale investigation that could change how we view some of the biggest names in entertainment. Imagine private events held in expansive estates and upscale hotels, each set up like a spectacle for those in the inner circle. This is because we are now entering the center of Diddy's infamous freak-off parties, which were unlike anything else in the celebrity world. A blend of extravagance, secrecy, and rumors that left guests with more questions than answers. Just the invites were in great demand, but let's just say that even for those fortunate enough to go, the inside tales weren't always eager to discuss what went on behind closed doors, right? Well, not really, but it was interesting, and I got to see a few things. You were 13, though, and I went there to see the lifestyle. What we do know vividly depicts the setting, and Diddy allegedly created an atmosphere that was opulent on the surface but had a darker side. These parties reportedly had plenty of security, and once, including decor and areas where guests could slip away for private conversations or whatever else they wanted to indulge in. The visitors were clearly no strangers to celebrity themselves, but they didn't want the public to see them building their brand through connections in controversial events or those famously exclusive parties hosted by Diddy. Celebrities like Usher, Justin Bieber, and Jennifer Lopez reportedly attended Diddy's gathering. When authorities raided one of Diddy's beach properties in Miami, they discovered an almost unthinkable amount of different party supplies, including more than 1,000 bottles of certain products that hint at what might have happened behind those velvet ropes. Diddy's circle also hinted at the presence of supplies far beyond what's expected at your average Hollywood party. Starting with Usher, who spent time learning the ropes of fame under Diddy's guidance when he was younger, the influence on budding celebrities became evident. In the 1990s, as Usher advanced in the music business, he attended events hosted by Diddy, which he described as giving him a new perspective on the industry. But what did this mean? Usher has been cautious about revealing specifics, though he has hinted at the unusual nature of those formative experiences under Diddy's guidance. In one interview, he described it as a crazy period, filled with experiences he could not fully comprehend at the time. Now, with Diddy facing serious allegations, these remarks are being reconsidered with fresh eyes. As a father himself, Usher has since reflected on his past, once saying, "Would I ever send my child to an event like that? No way." Then there's Justin Bieber, who also had memorable experiences with Diddy. One particular incident from 2009 has resurfaced online, a 48-hour period that Bieber once described as a teenager's dream. Imagine a young Bieber, new to fame, thrust into Diddy's world of wealth and limitless access. Diddy himself has kept details vague, fueling speculation about what those hours entailed. This incident gained renewed attention as Diddy's scandals have come to light, with many now re-evaluating his mentorship style. Reflecting on how young talent may have been influenced, it's unsettling to think about the industry's impact on lives. Diddy's guest lists included Hollywood icons like Leonardo DiCaprio, Mariah Carey, and Kim Kardashian. His renowned white parties were exclusive, lavish gatherings where Hollywood elites dressed in all white for an evening of celebration. However, according to sources, private rooms at these events became the subject of rumors, though few attendees were willing to discuss details. According to the Morning News, some attendees reportedly felt uneasy about the atmosphere at these events, though few spoke publicly about it. Could this discomfort be tied to the growing number of allegations? Speculation now revolves around whether Diddy will cooperate with authorities, if the federal government pursues further investigation. With potential charges looming, Diddy could face a lengthy sentence, possibly not seeing release until around age 70. At that point, discussions might begin. Occurs when there are conditions linked to that commitment. Singer and model Cassie Ventura has spoken about her personal relationship with Diddy, claiming that she was bound by years of control and abuse. Diddy's credibility was completely destroyed in that video, but Cassie's narrative isn't just one account. It's part of a bigger pattern that, according to some sources, permeated every aspect of his business. Let's now discuss the climate of manipulation and, as some claim, control that Diddy established beyond the extravagant events and music videos. There were rumors of something even more calculating that claimed that Diddy had a special method of controlling others. For example, secret cameras were purportedly a component of his plan and insurance policy that guaranteed quiet and obedience. Imagine a system in which visitors were filmed without their knowledge, with video that they may later use as leverage. Doesn't the thought of that shiver people to the bone? And if such a tactic existed, who knows how far it may have gone? And celebrities who attended these events may now be wondering if they were also captured on camera. The FBI's investigation reportedly includes video evidence from these parties, which adds another level of complexity to the case. A large portion of the alleged evidence gathered in this case came from the 2 raids that were carried out on his personal homes in Miami and Los Angeles, and the indictment names the items that were allegedly seized. Produced films of these acts, which have been dubbed freak-offs. As the inquiry progresses, concerns are now being raised over how Diddy's financial dealings were impacted by his connections. For instance, some claim that Bad Boy Records served as a recruitment ground for those brought into Diddy's inner circle with his record business, in addition to being a music firm. Diddy had access to young, talented artists who were anxious to establish themselves, but that access also came with influence. And according to stories, the manipulative bad boy was allegedly a powerhouse in the music business, home to major artists who helped shape the R&B and hip-hop scenes. But some now question whether the label's influence was used for more than just creating hit songs. I believe that in federal court, they would argue that these charges are routine, but in the public eye, this is very important, simply because of who we associate with him and everything we've seen him do over the years. As you said, this is quite the fall from grace. After all, we saw the mansions return back in March that were raided by the Fed, so I believe that the extent of Diddy's alleged manipulation is what caused them to go from being in those mansions to being in a prison cell at this time. One notable example of his friendship with Jay-Z, who for years stood alongside Diddy as a close ally, and was frequently photographed with him sharing stages, hosting events, and representing the industry's powerhouses, goes beyond his business. Deal's remarks suggest that the truth might be far more complex than anyone ever imagined. With the upcoming documentary on Diddy, whispers about Jay-Z's controversial past are gaining volume. But this isn't just about 2 icons. It's the entire music industry that's catching the FBI's attention. Deal's hint that the FBI is also targeting Jay-Z raises the stakes dramatically. To show, a hidden layer of control, secrecy, and alleged exploitation emerges. Diddy's recent arrest has shaken fans and followers, prompting them to question a culture that allowed questionable actions to go unchecked for so long. In a startling scene, Diddy is seen entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan, only to be separated by Homeland Security agents, placed in handcuffs, and escorted out. Fans can't help but wonder who else might be involved. Social media is on fire with theories, demands for accountability, and speculation on which other high-profile stars, known for attending Diddy's events, could soon be under the microscope. This industry, once celebrated for glamour and success, now seems on the brink of a massive reckoning, and those who once stood proudly alongside Diddy are feeling the pressure. As Diddy faces intense scrutiny, Jay-Z's silence has not gone unnoticed. Fans are left speculating. Is he keeping a low profile as a strategy, or does he already know what could be coming? Reports suggest that the FBI is actively following every lead. If Jay-Z's connections to the scandal go beyond mere friendship, we might be witnessing the start of an unprecedented shakeup. Rumor has it that within the next 30 days, up to 120 individuals could come forward, making it impossible to ignore the question: just how deep does this go? The scope of this investigation could change the entire music industry as we know it. Deal's allegations add gravity to what might be a monumental shift, potentially impacting not just Jay-Z's legacy, but the very foundations of hip-hop. Fans are left asking, who else could be involved, and what hidden secrets are waiting to be uncovered? As the case builds, many wonder if we're about to witness revelations that could rock Hollywood to its core. With each passing day, hip-hop fans grow more eager for answers, as the industry's secrets begin to unravel. One thing is clear: the truth is on its way, but who will withstand the fallout? Share your thoughts in the comments, stay tuned for updates, and remember, the story is just beginning.